My name is Thea Anders, and I'm 29 years old. You were always our biggest disappointment, my mother said, while sliding a pen across the table so I could sign away my inheritance in front of 12 relatives. That was 3 years ago. I walked out of my parents' house that afternoon with nothing. No money, no family, no safety net. My sister Victoria took everything. The $4 million estate, the beach house, the investment accounts. My father didn't even look at me when I left. What none of them knew, not my mother, not my father, not my perfect sister, was what a single phone call between two lawyers would uncover 3 years later. And when my father finally heard the number, he said the same two words over and over, like a man who just watched his whole world tilt sideways. Before I go on, please take a moment to like and subscribe. But only if you genuinely connect with this story. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Now, let me take you back to a Sunday afternoon in March, the day my family sat me down and erased me. The phone call comes on a Wednesday night. I'm sitting cross-legged on the floor of my studio apartment in New Haven, surrounded by fabric samples and floor plans for a client's living room renovation. My first real solo project. $800. I'm proud of it. My mother's name lights up the screen. Family meeting, this Sunday, don't be late. No explanation, no warmth, just instructions. I almost don't go. Something in her tone feels off, sharper than usual, more rehearsed. But it's family. And despite everything, I still show up when they call. That's always been my problem. Sunday morning, I drive 3 hours from New Haven to Fairfield County. The March rain hasn't let up in days, and the windshield wipers beat a rhythm I can't shake. When I turn onto Ridgewood Lane, the house rises through the gray. Stone facade, black shutters, the kind of home that looks like it was built to intimidate. I grew up here. It never felt like mine. Inside, 12 people are already seated around the dining room table. Grandmother Rosemary sits nearest the window, hands folded in her lap. Uncle Robert is beside her, jaw tight. Aunt Janet, 3 cousins, everyone dressed like they're attending something formal. At the head of the table sits Mr. Whitfield, my parents' estate attorney. Silver-haired, reading glasses on a chain, a thick leather folder open in front of him. My father, Richard, stands behind his chair, arms crossed. He doesn't greet me. My mother, Patricia, gestures to an empty seat at the far end, the only one left. And there, at my father's right hand, sits Victoria, my older sister. Pressed blazer, pearl earrings. She doesn't look at me either, but her posture says everything. She already knows what's coming. On the table in front of my empty chair, I see a single document. My name is printed at the top. I can't read the rest before my father clears his throat. Sit down, Thea. This won't take long. I sit. The chair is cold. My father doesn't waste time. He nods at Mr. Whitfield, who opens the leather folder and begins reading in that flat, legal tone that strips everything of emotion. The estate, all of it, is being transferred to Victoria Ann Anders. The house on Ridgewood Lane, the beach cottage in Mystic, the investment accounts, the trust fund established by my grandfather. Total estimated value, $4 million. Every penny, every wall, every memory that was supposed to be shared. Victoria's name appears on every line. Mine appears on none. I look at my father. And me? He doesn't answer. He adjusts his cufflink and stares at a point just past my shoulder. My mother fills the silence. She's been waiting for it. You were always our biggest disappointment. She says it the way someone reads a grocery list. Calm, final. We're not going to pretend anymore. The room doesn't move. Grandmother Rosemary looks down at her hands. Uncle Robert shifts in his seat but says nothing. Aunt Janet studies the table. My cousins avoid my eyes like I've already stopped existing. Victoria sits perfectly still. She doesn't speak. But I catch it. The smallest tug at the corner of her mouth. Not quite a smile. Close enough. Mr. Whitfield clears his throat. He slides the document closer to me. A relinquishment of inheritance rights. Pre-drafted. Tabs already marking where to sign. We'll need your signature to finalize. I look at the pen. I look at my mother. Her chin is lifted. She's daring me to make a scene. I pick up the pen. My hand is steady. That surprises even me. I heard you, Mom, I sign. I stand before the ink is dry. Nobody stops me. Nobody says, wait. Nobody says, are you okay? The room exhales as I push back from the table, not with relief, but with the collective understanding that the uncomfortable part is over. For them. I walk through the hallway toward the front door. My footsteps echo on the hardwood. To my left, the gallery wall. I've passed it 1,000 times. 3 framed photographs. Victoria's law school graduation. Her accepting the Dean's Award. Her standing between Mom and Dad on a balcony in Rome. Silver frames, perfectly spaced. There are no photographs of me. I open the front door. The rain hasn't stopped. My phone buzzes before I reach my car. A text from Victoria. No hard feelings, right? It's just business. I stare at it for 10 seconds. Then I delete it. The drive back to New Haven takes 3 hours. I make it 20 minutes before I pull over. I park on the shoulder of I-95, turn off the engine, and sit there. Cars blur past. The rain hammers the roof. I don't cry. I don't scream. I just sit with it. The weight of being subtracted from your own family like a line item on a spreadsheet. 40 minutes. Then I start the car again. When I get home, my apartment is exactly as I left it. Fabric samples on the floor, the client's floor plan pinned to the wall, a bowl of cereal on the counter from breakfast. I check my bank account. $3,200. No family, no connections, no one coming to help. I sit on the kitchen floor that night and make a list. Not of what I lost, of what I still have. It's a short list, but it's mine. The first client cancels on a Tuesday. Hi Thea, we've decided to go in a different direction. Best of luck. No explanation. I send a polite reply and move on. These things happen. The second cancellation comes 4 days later. This one stings more. It was a full kitchen renovation. 3 weeks of planning. Measurements already taken. The homeowner calls instead of emailing. We heard you're going through some personal issues, she says carefully. We just think it's better to work with someone more stable right now. I ask who told her that. She hesitates. I'd rather not say. Something cold settles in my stomach. 2 cancellations in 1 week, both using language that sounds coached, both pulling away for reasons that have nothing to do with my work. I take on smaller jobs, a living room refresh for a rental unit, $800, a color consultation for a couple in West Haven, $200. I eat cereal for dinner 3 nights a week. Not because I'm romantic about struggle, because cereal is $3.49 a box. Rock bottom isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It's splitting a box of pasta into 3 meals and calling it budgeting. In week 3, I try the only family lifeline I have left. Uncle Robert, my father's younger brother. He's always been gentler than Dad. He once told me my eye for color reminded him of Grandmother Rosemary. Thea, I love you, he says on the phone. But don't pull me into the middle of this. He hangs up, and I understand, there is no middle. There's the Anders family, and there's me. 2 separate countries now. That evening, an email arrives from an address I don't recognize. Someone requesting a design consultation for a penthouse in Hartford. Budget? Significant. I almost delete it. It feels too good to be real. I don't delete it. The truth finds me in a coffee shop on Chapel Street. It's a Saturday morning, about 6 weeks after the meeting. I'm reviewing sketches for a bathroom remodel, the only project I have left, when a woman approaches my table. Claire Dutton, former client. I'd redesigned her home office the previous fall. Thea, I thought that was you. She sits down without asking. Her face is strange, half guilt, half curiosity. I have to ask you something. Are you still doing design work? Of course. Why? She stirs her coffee slowly. Because your sister told me you weren't. The words land like a slap. Victoria called you? Not directly. She mentioned it at a dinner party. Said you'd stepped back from the business. That you were going through a rough time. Claire pauses. Looks at me like she's deciding how much to share. She also said you were let go from the family for reasons she couldn't get into. She made it sound serious, Thea. Like it was legal. A couple of people at that dinner were in real estate. Word travels. I set down my pencil. My hands are shaking. Not from sadness this time. from something harder. Did she say what the reasons were? No. That's what made it worse. She left it open. People filled in the blanks. I understand now. The cancellations, the sudden distance. Victoria didn't just take my inheritance. She was salting the earth behind me. Quietly, socially, with plausible deniability. No fingerprints, just whispers at dinner parties. I want to call her. I want to scream. Instead, I thank Claire. I finish my coffee. And I make a decision right there, sitting in that booth with my $6.50 latte and my ruined client list. I won't confront Victoria. I won't beg my parents. I'll rebuild. Somewhere she can't reach me. 3 months after the meeting, I break my own rule and call my mother. Not to beg, not to cry. I need one answer. She picks up on the third ring. Thea. Not a question, not a greeting, just an acknowledgement that I still exist. Did you plan it, Mom? Silence. The meeting, the 12 people, Mr. Whitfield, all of it. Was it planned? We did what was best for the family. For the family? Or for Victoria? Victoria never gave us a reason to worry. I never gave you one either. Longer silence this time. I hear her breathing. I hear the kitchen faucet dripping, the one Dad's been meaning to fix for 7 years. Strange, the details you remember when your mother is deciding whether to be honest with you. Thea. Her voice softens, but it's the softness of someone explaining something to a child. If you'd listened to us from the beginning, gone to law school, or at least gotten a real job, none of this would have happened. You chose this. There it is, the core of it. In Patricia Anders' world, obedience equals love. I disobeyed, so I don't qualify. This is the last time I call this number. Don't be dramatic. I'm not being dramatic, Mom. I'm being clear. I hang up. And I keep my word. No calls, no texts, no emails. Not that month. Not the month after. The silence between us becomes a wall, and every day I don't reach for the phone, it grows another inch higher. I'm not angry anymore. That's the part no one tells you about cutting ties. Eventually the rage runs out, and what's left is just quiet. A terrible, steady quiet that sounds a lot like freedom. 4 months in, Victoria sends the first email. Subject line, thinking of you. The body is long, carefully written, and dripping with concern. I want you to know I had no part in their decision. Mom and Dad acted on their own. I tried to talk them out of it, but you know how Dad is. I hope you're doing okay. I worry about you.